10 or 12 years ago, I kicked off a 2-day negotiating session for a group called the American Society of Association Executives. These are the paid professionals who run all the associations we belong to. The publisher of their magazine came up to me afterwards and said, "We are getting hammered unmercifully on our advertising page rates. Will you come in and conduct a negotiated sales training session for my reps so we can do a better job of holding our rates with the advertising agencies that we have to deal with?" I looked at her and I said, "Lisa, I'd be delighted. I do an awful lot of work with advertising agencies. In fact, I've worked with advertising agencies literally all over the world, from Europe to Asia. I understand what they're looking for, where they're coming from. I could help you with it." Well, her next question was, how much? Now, one of the mistakes that we make when we negotiate is we move too fast. And when she said how much, if I'd given her a price right then and there, what do you think she would have said back? Too much. It's almost a stimulus response mechanism. Now, if the people listening to this make no other note than this, it would be worth their time. And that is, first you educate, and then you can negotiate. And the problem with most of us is reverse that process. They say how much, we tell them. They say too much, and we say no it isn't. And we try to educate them that it isn't too much. But it doesn't come across as education. It just comes across as fighting and bickering. When she said how much, I looked at her and said, "Lisa, I'd be delighted to discuss my fee with you. I'd just like to ask a question or two of you first, if I may. Starting off with, what do you charge for a full-page 4-color ad in your publication?" She said, "That's easy, $9,830. When she said that, I said, "Well, how would you feel about this? The next time I'm in Washington, D.C., I'll stay over, and I'll conduct a half a day of negotiated sales training for you and your reps in exchange for a full-page 4-color ad in your publication." She looked at me and said, "Deal." Now, the question is a simple one. In terms of hard dollars, money out of her pocket, what did that cost her? Well, when you think about it, nothing. Magazines, brochures, everything are laid out in forms of 4. And when she's putting that magazine to bed, if she doesn't have an ad for the page, if she doesn't have an editorial for the page, she's not going to run a blank page. I mean, when was the last time you ever saw a blank page in a magazine? I mean, she's going to run a public service message. Well, might as well run my public service message as somebody else's.